All right. What is up, everybody? So I figure I'd do some more videos. This time I'm going to take a step in a little bit different direction. Today I want to look at some of my favorite sets that I've watched of Catherine. And so today I'll be looking at five sets in particular, just giving a brief little some some context behind them, and just what makes those matches so cool. And so the first set I'd like to just kind of give a shout out to is definitely Mike Muscles versus Dacid Bro at CEO Otaku 2016 Winners Finals. So CEO Otaku 2016 was actually I would say, probably one of the biggest tournaments. It's the first tournament that I went to, and it's the first tournament that Sketches went to. It's the first tournament after Evo 2016 where Toph just like made this huge splash. He just come onto the scene, and you see him commentating actually in this, and it's really good. Toph and Drew Chuck giving commentary, and Dacid Bro, being the reigning champ. At this point, things are getting a little bit close. Every time he played Mike Muscles, who was his roommate, the sets would end up being extremely close. And this set in particular has one of my favorite things. It has Mike Muscles actually ends up getting ahead 2-0. And there's a point where you see him smile. And after that smile, the whole game changes, and Dasibro comes out and reverses the sweep. So for that reason, it's a very hype set. It's very long. I think it's like 15 minutes, just one set. And these players at the time were clearly the two best. And so it was such an interesting set to watch. So for that reason, it would definitely be in one of my favorites and one of the ones I would highly recommend. Another set that I think is probably one of my favorite sets would be um, Orange Emoji versus Linus. I think it was Losers Finals at Climb Cancel 2, so in November 2018. Climb Cancel is a smaller tournament that actually I run, me and Jordy run. It takes place at Xanadu Games, so it's hosted by VG Bootcamp, and it's pretty small. It uses a different rule set than some of the other tournaments do. But this isn't about Climb Cancel. This is supposed to be about the match between these two guys. So Orange Emoji, very strong player. He seemed to always have a problem playing against Acid Bro. He's good on his own, but Acid Bro is his kryptonite, kind of. And I think Climb Cancel 2 was his highest placement ever. He's playing for second place at this point, and yeah, he's one of the biggest brains for sure in Catherine, and he's actually the person who got me into it. So that was a little bit of neat trivia. Um, Linus, very strong player, but kind of missing a lot of very good achievements under his belt. Other than, I believe he did very well at Genesis, which was his very first tournament, but at the same time, the quality of competition at Genesis wasn't particularly good. It was mostly new people. Um, Meanwhile, Climb Cancel is a lot of very experienced players all playing. So, yeah, this match has some crazy stuff go down, including probably the greatest block crush kill of all time. So definitely a match that you should really check out. So, I try to avoid talking about my own gameplay as much as possible, just because I don't like bragging about it, kind of. But honestly, I couldn't find a way to get around saying that one of, still to this day, my favorite sets is King of Catherine 2016, which is the second tournament I ever went to. Was a very small tournament hosted by Dacid Bro. I think only like 12 or 13 people showed up to this thing, but it was very intense, and Dacid Bro actually did not enter. He let players just kind of play for the title. And so um, I actually won the whole tournament. I leveled up really high, and so I played Dasabro at the end in an exhibition match. It was supposed to be around the world, we play on every single stage, and if there was a tie on the legal stages, then we would do a gentleman's prison. And I don't think either of us expected it to go that far, but I was feeling pretty hot, and it went all the way. It was 3-3, and I ended up losing, but it is a very good match. You see, very creative. You see both of us learning to play the long game. And so, for that reason, it's definitely one of the best sets of Catherine ever played. I'm going to give a quick shout out to another match that's a personal favorite of mine is Chachi versus Linus at Climb Cancel 1 in 2017. So this was the first Climb Cancel that we had done, and 2017 was a really great year for Catherine all around. And so it was really neat to see um, a lot of players develop. And so Chachi, relatively new player, definitely not as, I don't want to say not as crazy about the game as Linus, but uh, there are very few people who like the game as much as Linus. And so Chachi was definitely the underdog in this game, but he actually went toe to toe with Linus and put on a very great fight. He had a crazy dive kick combo at the very start, and so Chachi always tends to surprise me how well he does for how little he plays, and so for that reason, it is a very fun set to watch because even though one player is clearly the underdog, he's able to defend himself and put up a really great fight. And lastly, how could I possibly not talk about the set, the legendary set of Toph versus Dasabro EVO 2016? This is honestly probably the biggest Catherine event ever, single match ever that put the game on the map. Toph, very well known esports Smash commentator, and Dasabro, well known for his anime. Um, I think he was a commentator at Evo one year for Blaze Blue, I believe. But you know, the reigning king of the game, and Toph actually takes a set off of him, which hadn't been done in a long time. And yeah, I think the full set after the reset is like 30 minutes, 45 minutes long set. It's crazy, and definitely, if not the greatest set, then one of the greatest sets of all time. So that's kind of all I have to say. I just wanted to put out something quick, some matches of classic Catherine that I think definitely should be watched by everybody. I'll include in the description the links to some of the matches so you can check them out. And yeah, enjoy.